What if I told you that Picasso wasn't the sole mastermind behind his success? What if I told you he was just lucky, or rather that someone else took a gamble on him? Today, we're going to talk about a man who played the odds to turn Picasso from an unknown artist into a global legend. And by the way, if you're into taking calculated risks, whether in your career or investments or even personal life, this video is for you. Hit that subscribe button and leave a comment with your thoughts on the risks you have taken so far or you're thinking to be taking. Let's learn together. So, meet Heinz Berggruen, a German Jewish immigrant who became one of the most influential art dealers of the 20th century. In the early days of his career, he wasn't a millionaire. In fact, he had very little capital, but he saw something in the chaos of the art world that no one else could see. And actually, this is where it gets interesting, and where we tie it all back to Picasso. Berggruen wasn't just buying art, he was making bets. He took huge risks by purchasing Picasso's work long before they were the cultural icons they are today. Today, of course, it's easy to know about the value of Picasso's art pieces, but that wasn't the case at all at the time. Imagine buying a Picasso painting when no one else did understand or believed in its value, when most people would have laughed. He bought, held, and waited. He bought, held, and waited. And he wasn't just buying any art, he was buying future legends, art that would eventually explode in value, but no one knew it at the time. And let me tell you something, Picasso didn't even know it himself. And that's the interesting part, right? So now before we go deeper, I want you to think about this. Would you take a risk if you had no idea if it would pay off? Again, imagine a situation where you're weighing the possibility of taking a risk, but there is no clarity about whether in future that risk would pay off. Well, Berggruen did, and it changed the art world. So, if you want to learn how to take those kinds of risks in your life and get investing journey, hit that subscribe button, and while you're at it, drop a comment below. Let me know what do you think about this guy's journey and how do you think that might relate to your own life, or whether you think differently than what he has taken in his own life. Berggruen wasn't just collecting, he was playing the odds. Most of the art he bought didn't appreciate much at all indeed. In fact, many of the pieces he gambled on were complete losses, but just a few of those pieces, just like those works of Picasso, became priceless. This is what is called a symmetrical return of risk, or asymmetric risk. The idea that a small number of decisions or investments can yield huge rewards, while most of you do may not matter. Berggruen understood this before most people in the art world did. He was willing to take a chance. And in this world, sometimes it's just all about finding that one particular opportunity that can change everything. Now think about it. If Berggruen hadn't made those early purchases, if he hadn't recognized Picasso's potential, would the world even know Picasso's name today? Just think about that. Berggruen wasn't just a collector, he was a risk taker, an investor in a volatile, unpredictable market. And without his gambles, Picasso may not have had the same rise to fame. It's not just about being a genius, it's about taking chances and making bold moves when everyone else hesitates. Now, here's the twist. Everyone thinks success is a straight line. We're told you have to work harder, smarter, and never take risks. But the reality is success often comes from unpredictable and rare moments. Picasso didn't just become famous because of his talent. It was Berggruen's risks and, frankly, a little bit of luck that made all the difference. So, what can we learn from Berggruen's gamble on Picasso? Here are 3 lessons that I am deriving from that lesson that we can apply directly to our lives and investing. Lesson number 1 is asymmetric bets beat certainty. Don't chase perfection in everything you do. Take risk, especially calculated risk. Just like Berggruen, you might strike gold in the most unexpected places. Lesson number 2, quality comes from quantity. Sometimes you have to try a lot of things to find that one big success, that one big opportunity, that one golden idea. Whether it's investing, starting a business, or creating art, keep putting your work out there. Lesson number 3, if you're a beginner, you have the advantage. When you're just starting out, your downside is low, which means you can afford to take risks. It's the best time to make those asymmetric bets. So here's the thing, Picasso wasn't just a genius, he was the product of someone else's risk and vision. And that's a very powerful lesson for all of us. If you're willing to take calculated risks, your big break might be just around the corner. Want to take risks in your life or investing? Don't be afraid to make your own Picasso move. And if you find this story interesting, make sure to hit that subscribe button and comment below. Let's keep the conversation going. What risks have you taken or are you willing to take that might pay off big? Just think about that. Thank you for today. So remember, it's not always about being perfect. Sometimes it's about taking those calculated risks that can pay off big. I'll see you in next video. And if you find this story interesting, make sure to hit that subscribe button and comment below. Let's keep the conversation going. What risks have you taken or are you willing to take that might pay off big? Just think about that. Thank you for today. So remember, it's not always about being perfect. Sometimes it's about taking those calculated risks that can pay off big. I'll see you in next video.